London is one of the most diverse cities in the world, but also a place experiencing deep and continuous urban regeneration processes where local traders and ethnic communities are displaced.
If you do not include the community, that's it. You are not going to get anywhere because communities will fight back.
I moved from Havana to London less than a year ago, curious to see Latin American culture and how it's coping with regeneration amid other financial hardships imposed by the pandemic. My first stop is Elephant and Castle in Southwark, a borough with the second highest number of Latin Americans in London, representing 9% of the total population.
Hello.
Hi, Kathy. Pleasure to meet you. To understand
And
what
to
is
you as well,
regeneration
Alejandra.
and how it's
Hi, how
affecting
are
Latin
you?
Americans, I contacted representatives from Latin Elephant, a charity that incorporates ethnic minorities in processes of urban change in London.
Regeneration, the aim is to improve the city structure and the lives of those living in the city, but the reality is often promoted by very large multinational corporations who end up appropriating land. In the context of the Latin American community, it's 2 shopping centres which they want to redevelop, partly for shopping, but also sort of wider housing processes. The argument has been that these regeneration processes are being very exclusionary towards Black and ethnic minority groups in general, but also specifically for the Latin American communities, because they have long-standing presence in both Seven Sisters and in Elephant and Castle.
It is a phenomenon that's going on not just here and all across London, by which disadvantaged communities such as the Latin Americans and other migrant ethnic communities are forced to being displaced by the so-called regeneration, which it's probably better seen as gentrification. It's fair to say it's gentrification in the sense that the new aspect of the area and the new business models of the new shops are tailored to a different community, more white community, and of a more middle and upper classes.
The shopping center closed its doors in September last year, and demolition works are now underway. After years of battle led by Latin Elephant, approximately half of all traders were relocated to new business units.
After nearly a year, with a pandemic in the middle, around 50 small independent businesses have been relocated that were previously trading inside and around the shopping center. That figure is still open because we're still campaigning and advocating for those who still don't have a place to trade, most of them who are trading outside in the market and some who are trading inside the shopping center, to find alternative spaces, which is a promise from the developers and the council, and it's something that we have fought very hard to achieve. So this process, essentially what I'm saying is that it hasn't ended, it's ongoing.
I'm heading next to Pueblito Paisa, also known as Latin Village in Seven Sisters. In 2004, Haringey Council agreed plans with property developer Granger to redevelop the site into a modern retail center. But through over a decade of campaigning and legal battles, including a human rights case at the United Nations, market traders are still fighting for compensation. I went to meet Vicky Alvarez, activist, business owner, and the chair of the Seven Sisters Market Tenant Association.
2 places that represent that culture and that identity pretty much has disappeared simultaneously. We haven't been able to trade for more than a year now, and still unable to, and we don't know when. And of course, when I say we, I'm include myself because my business is still open, which is on the high road, but I have another businesses inside. We have been campaigning for the past 17 years to be able to protect this place, this building, that is the body of the community. One without the other would not be able to coexist. This is like an ecosystem, which is a very fragile one, and we all have the duty of care to be able to look after it for future generations. Here, you will be able to to see the Latin culture, experience and live and understand and learn how Latinos we do work. So gentrification is something that we all have to fight really hard. Not only the Latin American community, because today is the Latin American community, but don't forget tomorrow is going to be your community.
The indoor market was home to 60 small businesses and employed over 100 locals, mostly of Latin American descent. Some, like Alicia, are still waiting to be relocated.
Mi nombre es Alicia Plaza, yo arreglo ropas acá en CB System Market hace como unos 12 años y me he visto muy perjudicada porque hasta el momento no me he podido ubicar. La ayuda que nos dieron, le agradecemos mucho, pero no ha sido tan suficiente porque ya vamos casi para 2 años cerrados y no sé qué va a pasar o aquí con nosotros. Yo estoy ahorita limpio un banco de clima y con eso es lo que cuento, porque no he conseguido más trabajo y tampoco de Taylor he conseguido, entonces me toca limpiar.
When we talk about money, none of the traders have received any compensation. We have received a financial hardship, like a token to help us through a few months. Sadly, because the market was closed, not through COVID, but through negligence and bad use of everything, we were left behind.
Me llamo Caterina Pardo, soy de tiendas Mercapunto, que ahorita el negocio de tienda Manuelita por el momento está cerrado. Estamos temporalmente aquí, espera a ver qué van a hacer con nosotros. Aquí no hay un contrato de nada, el market sigue cerrado. ¿Quién sabe hasta cuándo? No se sabe. No se sabe porque ellos no nos dicen nada. Estamos en un limbo.
Tenemos mucha inestabilidad en este momento. El cerrar el market hizo que se minimizaran mucho los clientes. La ayuda financiera realmente no ha sido la que deberíamos de haber tenido porque nos vimos terriblemente afectados por malas decisiones que se ha tomado acá en el council de Haringey.
This is a 147 pages report where Haringey Council states that Granger is committed to providing a vibrant new market and working with the existing licensed traders. However, on April 7, Granger told traders that due to significant challenges to the project's viability, they are not currently able to proceed with the installation of the temporary market at Apex Gardens. When asked for an update on their market plans and when traders will hear back from the company, Granger replied this.
Muchas personas en este momento están muy mal económica. Hemos tenido muchas veces que reunir plata entre muchos comerciantes, entre muchas personas para ayudar a otros que realmente están pasándola muy mal en este momento. La regeneración que se está haciendo no está teniendo en cuenta las comunidades, no se tiene en cuenta mucho, pues por lo menos en nuestro caso de comunidad latina, nos hemos sentido desplazados en forma muy violenta con todos estos cambios que se están dando. No vemos que haya como una inclusión social, una inclusión para las comunidades. Muchas veces nos dicen sí, ustedes son muy importantes, la comunidad es muy importante, pero realmente al momento de verlo somos como una pequeña arena en el desierto.
But how do you get inclusion when the Latin American community is not even recognized in most forms?
I wanted to make a short film.
Another woman tackling this issue is Mexican actress Ana Torre, who is currently producing The Box, a short film about the lack of statistical and official visibility of Latin Americans in the UK.
I was looking for things I was passionate about, for stories that mattered to me. And I think very personally for me, when I first moved here, I was a young woman. I wanted to become an actor. At the beginning of my journey, for me, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not part of the forms, And I was like, yeah, I wonder why. So it was like, oh, I don't know what to take. What should I take? Should I just go with other? We are not even in the top 10 of, new categories that are being considered. So we're very far away from being able to have a box as part of the census. Not having that data, people don't realize that is not just data. Like being able to gather that information can be really helpful in terms of like how to move forward, and not having it's making us invisible, because people never think about us. People don't know we exist because we're never counted, and that means that a lot of people, not only that we don't get representation, but also a lot of people get missed because it's just basically lack of awareness. Representation matters. I think representation goes a long way. It's something I'm very, very passionate about, which is why half my crew is Latin American in this film that I'm writing and producing, and I, like 2/3 of the cast are Latin American as well, because I'm trying to champion people and get as much visibility as I can.
There's a lot of discussion about the recognition, visibility and invisibility of the Latin American community in this country. It's worth reminding ourselves that 4 boroughs in London, plus the London Authority, the GLA, do recognize Latin American as a category. I think that's something to celebrate, and that's a result of a long campaign led by the Coalition of Latin American Charities in the UK, CLAUC, which is a campaign that's ongoing. We would like to have the category at the national level. Of course, we continue to campaign for that. It will take time, as many other communities in this country. It takes time to be officially recognized, and it's just one step of one layer of many layers of the idea of being visible, of being recognized, of being active, of being integral part of, at least of London. So yes, something that we won't give up, definitely.
When they say other, I cross that and I put Latin American, always, because I think the change is starting there when the government recognize that we're here, that we contribute to the economy, and then we are no longer invisible.
After meeting all the women, it is clear that the lack of visibility and official representation is damaging to economic opportunities. I'm back in Elephant and Castle to witness the much anticipated return of the emblematic sculpture that used to be in the shopping center before it closed its doors. Today is like a Latin party, the food is incredible, and everybody is speaking Spanish. The Elephant is finally back.
Feel Latino, be proud of being Latino. Okay, so we already started this movement, and I don't think we are going to disappear just like that. We can carry on fighting, right, for this kind of inclusion and respect.
Always come through. We tend to be people that look on the bright side, so I feel that they can take away the building, but they're not gonna, destroy us by taking that away. So I feel that it's gonna pop up like somewhere else if it has to, but I really don't think it's going away.
The Latin American community will still be here because it has always been here since the 80s, in different forms, in different areas, constantly adapting, constantly changing, absolutely resilient.
There is a long way to go. The Latinos have found alternative paths through activism and campaigning to make their voices heard. Despite the regeneration, the community has demonstrated that it will continue fighting for recognition and holding the powerful to account, so there will always be a place to experience Latin culture in London.